Okay, what's going on, LBHT crew? B, what is going on?
Not a whole lot, man. What's going on with you?
Hey man, look, I'm here. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Hope your week is going well. But if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. Yes, we got the chat is already filling up. Look, I got Suge. He's first. So I gotta read this first. He says first. Shout out to Suge
Yes.
Knight 323. Okay. Also Suge Knight 1323 on Twitch. Make sure you give him a follow over there. We got our guy Sancho Mack in the house. What's
What's up,
going on?
Sancho?
We got our guy Hendo, Ravens Online, Ungatekeeper says LBHT crew. What's good? What's good with you, bro? We got our man Justin P from KTSE Sports Talk says, fellas. What's up, my
Justin?
friend? Thanks for coming through.
And Hendo, you better get to work. I told you by the end of the show.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, Raven Ron says, what up, LBHT? Damn those Orioles.
That's your fault for believing in them, Ron.
That's your fault. We got Andre Mears. Shout out to Andre Mears. Thanks for coming through. Yes, C Iron Addict. Tracy Hall says the crew. Hey y'all, what's up, Tracy? And our homegirl Yolanda B says hello, LBHT family. I hope everyone is well. Hey, shout out to you, Yolanda. Thanks for coming through. Yes, all right. So look, we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Those three places. And Twitch. Twitch. Yes, I mentioned and Twitch. I knew it was 4. Okay. So make sure you're following us over there as well. And the audio podcast is back as well. Okay. I haven't been putting it out for a while. Took a little break, but it is back up. So, if you prefer to listen to us like our guy Saul Martinez, okay? If you like to listen to the audio podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there. All right. Yes. Thank you, Shay. He said, don't forget Twitch. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're streaming so many places now. All right. And before we get started, right below us right there, LBHTShow.com/shop. That's where you can find our merch. If you like what we're wearing, go ahead and check out the store. You can get that same stuff over there. And also, if you're looking for a super chat, there are 2 ways we do super chat over here. It's not your traditional way. Okay. One is right below B, $ LBHT Show. Okay, that's our Cash App. Also, the pin link that you see in the comment is a Stream Elements. Okay, either way, you go there, you leave your donations, leave your comment, and you get a nice little animation right next to my face right there. All right, so we got a lot to talk about today. More Deshaun Watson news. Suspension is coming. How long will it be? Okay. Also, got to talk about my Nets. We got to talk about my Nets. We might talk a little Lakers too, okay? That affected them as well. Okay, Kyrie staying for now. KD staying for now. Okay, let's see what the future holds for them. Also, Ravens 53-man roster. Okay, we're gonna talk about the who was it? Jess Rabick that put out the article.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that and give our early predictions on who's gonna make the team. But first, we got a Black History Fact. We do every show with a Black History Fact first, and B has a Black History Fact for you.
Yeah, so today I was going to talk about a civil rights icon by the name of Thurgood Marshall, who started off, he graduated from Howard University, and, he became a lawyer, and, he started arguing civil rights cases, right? And one of the more famous cases that he argued was Brown versus Board of Education, overturning Plessy versus Ferguson, which we had talked about previously. Well, partially overturning it. And Thurgood he kind of made his career out of that. He joined the NAACP as a staff attorney, and really that was his lane. He ended up arguing a lot of cases in front of the Supreme Court. He won 29 of the 32 cases that he argued in front of the Supreme Court. And eventually in 1967, he was appointed to the Supreme Court as the first Black Supreme Court justice. He served on the court from 1967 up until 1991, a couple of years before he passed away. But yeah, again, just a long and legacy fighting for civil rights in the U.S. But as we've seen over the past, couple of weeks, some of that stuff is kind of going away, right? We just saw Roe v. Wade overturned, which is a case that he was on the Supreme Court for, and that kind of took away the protections for a lot of women in this country, put a lot of women at risk in this country. Not even just because of the medical issues. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, especially particularly Black women who are 3 times more likely to die during pregnancy than white women, because Black people just get worse healthcare in this country than white people do. But also, I didn't know this until very recently. Homicide is the leading cause of death among pregnant women in this country, and that's because a lot of times a husband or a boyfriend or of the father of the child just wants them to get an abortion, and they don't do it, and it ends up in violence. So we have that. We also saw the Supreme Court, and this is aided, by the way, by the second Black Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas. The other day, they essentially told Louisiana the same thing they told Alabama back in February. No, Black people's votes they can count for less. The lower courts had said that the redistricting, or the redistricting was a little racist, and the maps were drawn in order to remove power from the Black voter. But they went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, we'll put that on hold until after the midterm elections, and you just go ahead and roll with the racist districts that you have right now.
Yeah.
So again, it's kind of accidentally part 2 of what we talked about before, that progress is never actually won in this country when you're talking about civil rights, whether it's for minorities or women or what have you. It's just a reminder to I don't want to say stay vigilant, but you have to be engaged, know what's going on, particularly in your local elections, so you can try as best you can to fight back against some of this stuff.
No, I was going to say the same thing. Your local elections really matter. When you see those candidates come in, knock on your door, ask them questions, right? Do some research and see what their policies are, what they're fighting for. Make sure their interests align with yours, and if not, do not vote for them, right? Vote for the person that aligns with your interests the most. Don't vote for person, vote for policy. Okay. All right. And speaking of Zaul, we talked about Zaul at the beginning of the show. Our guy Zaul Martinez. Look, Zaul requested a Knicks video. He is a Knicks fan. Okay. Yes. So on our patreon.com/LBHT Show, we posted a video along with our guy Ferris, who was also a Knicks fan. And it got some strong reactions from our patrons. It was an enjoyable video. Okay. Shout out to Suge. He says, don't worry, everyone. I brought enough McDonald's for everyone. All of a sudden, Jose is happy to talk about the Nets. Was smiled a couple of days ago. Make sure follow Ring Kings podcast. We just did a pound for pound ranking, and it has me excited to watch boxing. Hey, might as well go ahead and plug it now. And thank you, Suge, for the donation.
Thank you.
So our other channel, Ring Kings podcast, for you boxing fans, we decided we're going to do our own pound for pound list, and we were joined by Suge Knight 323 and also Ferris from the Let's Get Ready Network. I think I'm pretty satisfied with the list that we came out with. I think I challenge anybody to come up with a better pound for pound list. Okay,
won't do it.
No. Speaking of Ring Kings, there's our 1/3 of our podcast right there. OTR Mike says, yo, what up with the host of the best Ravens and Panthers podcast and the best boxing podcast around. #facts. That is correct.
Yes.
All right, a couple more shout outs and let's get this thing started. We gotta give our shout out to our man Davon. Okay.
What's going on, Davon?
He says #LBHT crew. Just Aloe. What's going on? Black Daniel says peace and blessings. LBHT crew. Yes, shout out to Black Daniels. Oh God, Nitro says Baker Mayfield.
Don't bring that stuff in here.
Listen,
don't bring that nonsense in here.
That's a typo. He meant Seahawks. Okay, that's the talk. Yes. He's going to the Seahawks. And we don't talk about Baker. Okay, Baker feeling a little dangerous again. Oh, he feeling a little dangerous. he getting his swag back. And shout out to King, man. Thanks for coming through, King.
What's up, King?
All right, okay. Oh, and living legend. This is a legend
yes.
right here. Yes. All right. First story. Let's talk about it. Deshaun Watson. He had his hearing yesterday.
Well, no, it's still going on.
Okay.
They're saying
it started yesterday, right?
Yeah, it started yesterday. right now they're saying it shouldn't go beyond this week, but it's still ongoing at the moment.
Okay. So it's ongoing and it's not looking good. Shout out to Shaheen, by the way. Shaheen is in here. I want to give him a shout out because it's 4 a.m. where he's at. Okay. Watching the best Ravens podcast ever. Hey, thank you. Shaheen. Appreciate that. So the talk is indefinite suspension. Mm-hmm. So definitely a year, possibly more than a year. And him and his lawyers are arguing there's no basis for it, which they're kind of right. But there's also, there's all kinds of rumors going on with this, right? So now there's talk that the league had come to them before and said, hey, take a suspension now, and maybe you don't have to do the whole year, or take a year and it won't go further than a year. And they said, and Deshaun Watson just said no. So now they're saying, okay, well, since you're not going to do it that way, we'll do it this way. But, that's all speculation right now. We'll see what the decision is. We'll see how Deshaun Watson and his people play it out. But it is looking like it's probably going to be a year. What do you think, B?
Yeah, I mean, if that's true that the league went to him and said, hey, let's work together and get a suspension done now and get it out of the way. And he said, no, that is just, major league stupid.
Yes.
Right? Like, you're whether you did it or not, it doesn't even come into play at this point because you're getting suspended, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's how the NFL rolls. You don't have to actually be guilty to be suspended. I mean, my assumption once they started talking about it was that they would suspend him for a year, and he would agree to take that, and then that would be the end of it. But obviously, people out there want longer, and if he tries to fight it, no telling how long it'll go. At this point, I think he comes to his senses and says, "Yeah, okay, we can work something out. I'll take an indefinite suspension and come back after a year," which I think is the most likely outcome.
Yeah, look, I was going to argue like, hey, if I didn't do it, I know I'd be fighting everything, right? But also, me personally, I wouldn't settle. But look, sometimes that's just how it has to go down. Like, mm-hmm. It's too costly. You may not like it, but you have to end up settling. And if you're going down that route, then yes, this is part of it too, right? Mm-hmm. That you might just have to take the suspension. It sucks, but that's if you think you're innocent. At this point, I just don't think. I don't think he's innocent, right? No. So it's even dumber. You did something, right? Even if you don't think you've done as much as you've been accused of, and that may very well be the case. You've done something, and a suspension is coming, right? So if the league did come to you, and again, this is all speculation, we don't really know, but that's kind of the rumor that's out there. If they did come to you and say, let's get this worked out right now so we can get you back playing at least, as early as next year, maybe earlier, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do
it. You've already missed a year.
You've already missed a year.
And this is your prime. This is the prime of your career. So you're already missing time. You want to get back out there as quickly as possible. If you play around and you let it go on beyond a year, then you start losing serious money.
And also, I was to say, also the Browns structured your contract to where if this very scenario happened, you're not really losing any money.
Yeah.
So take the year. So what? Right? You get all your money still. You may not get $230 million. You get $229 million. Because I think this year, it was only like $1 million. His salary was going to be
somewhere on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So but look, we'll see what the decision is. They're dragging this out, but we'll find out soon. But man, the Browns. Nitro. Listen, Nitro says it right here. The Browns will always be the Browns. You want to talk about some bad luck? We were just saying this on this show a couple months ago. The Browns are making all the right moves. There was no bad move to be made here, right? And this is a hindsight thing because this was the right move. It absolutely was the right move. They went all in to upgrade the quarterback. Deshaun Watson is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. And honestly, still, we're laughing now, but he serves his 1-year suspension, comes back. You still got Deshaun Watson, right? Like, you still made out all right. But man, it's just funny because this always happens to the Browns, right? Like they're actively pursuing Deshaun Watson, even though there was no guarantee at the time that they're going to get him. You still have Baker Mayfield on the team, and Baker Mayfield's like, well, fine, then I guess I'm out. And then Deshaun Watson was out for a while. Like he said, like, no, you guys are out. But they did the aggressive thing, which I applaud teams that do this. They said, nah, man, like you tell us what it takes. You want your whole contract guaranteed, we will give you the whole contract guaranteed. And they got one of the top quarterbacks to sign up for the team. Now, normally if it doesn't work out,
asking how old he'll be. If he just sits out this season, the start of next season he'll be 28.
Yeah. So I mean, he still got plenty of football left in him.
Yeah.
But usually if stuff like this doesn't work out, hey, it is what it is. You took your chance, but because the Browns have a history of failing, it's just funny.
Yeah.
But
and they guaranteed the entire contract.
They guaranteed the entire contract.
Yeah, so.
But again, he misses this year. Even if he misses part of next year, I mean, you still got him locked up for a while. So you got your guy. But we will laugh. We are going to laugh at you, Browns fans. And did you have any more to say about this?
No, I mean, I don't understand. Like you said, it was the right move trying to go and get Deshaun Watson because he was never going to be banned from the NFL. Somebody was going to get Deshaun Watson, and you need a quarterback. But to do that and not investigate it is very Cleveland.
I see Living Legend says maybe the suspension won't bring a happy ending to his upcoming season.
Wow.
Just Al says he should have taken the suspension and maintained his innocence. Yeah. They wouldn't even ask him to address it. I mean, when Ben Roethlisberger had to get suspended, he said, "Hey, look, I apologize for the attention that brought things brought to me," or some nonsense like that. And then he never spoke of it again. And he could have done the same thing.
Neither did the league.
Yeah, the league isn't gonna do that. OTR Mike says, "Have you guys seen the lady hearing the case? He's toast." Yes, I have seen
prejudice. That is prejudice, Mike, and we don't do that on this show. Okay,
he's toast. I'm surprised she didn't just come out and just say, "Look, 2 years. I don't care what you gotta say. 2 years. Keep talking. It's gonna be 3 years." All right, he's toast. He's absolutely right. He's not getting off. Okay. Nitro says Baker will play good next year. Watch. Okay, here we go. Nitro, 25 to 30 touchdowns in the playoffs. Panthers pull a trigger. Well, the talk right now is that they're close to the deal with the Seahawks. So I mean, there's no talk of him even going to the Panthers at this point.
Yeah.
And no, I don't see it from Baker, to be honest, man.
I don't want a bottom tier starting quarterback when they could just suck this season and go get CJ Stroud.
Yeah. But speaking of Baker, while this hearing, same time this hearing is going on, man, it was just a coincidence, B. It was just a coincidence. The same time Deshaun Watson's hearing, Baker Mayfield was helping the kids. He was holding a camp for the kids. Okay, talk about optics. Okay, he's holding a camp for the children, and he just happened to make himself available for comment at a kids camp.
Yeah. That's because he's a grown up, right?
Yeah.
That's what they wanted a quarterback, somebody who would give back to his community and do a good job with the media and everything. But yeah, they asked him if he would potentially patch things up with Cleveland, and he said he's moved on, and they would have to. This isn't what he said, but this is what he meant. They would have to come on all fours begging to Baker to come back and save them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really think it's gonna happen.
He said something like they had to reach out there, had to be a conversation.
They would have to start the process, and
you know what that means. Like they would have to come back begging. There'll have to be some crying going on, and I had to say, hey, get up. You're embarrassing yourself. Stop. Okay, fine. Something like that. And look, that may not be off the table. That may not be off the table. Baker has not been traded yet. No. Okay. They keep saying that they're close to a deal with the Seahawks. What's the wait? All right. I'll tell you what the wait is. Let's see how bad the suspension is going to be for Deshaun Watson, because hey, you have Baker Mayfield for a year. You're paying his contract. Like they're paying a total of like $65 million for for quarterbacks, right? So you already got him paid for the year, paid up for the year. Say, hey, this is the best chance you're gonna get to start. Okay, even if you go to the Seahawks, you know how Pete Carroll is, man. Just because he brings you over, just because he pays you money, does not mean you're gonna play. Okay, like that's exactly how Russell Wilson got that starting job. They paid what was his name, Matt Flynn. They paid Matt Flynn a brand new contract, right? Got him all this guaranteed money for the time, a lot of guaranteed money, and they drafted Russell Wilson. They said there's going to be an open QB competition, and Matt Flynn never took the field. Okay, nope. So Baker Mayfield going over there, he's still going to compete with Geno Smith. I promise you, he will. Right, and Drew Lock. It's not a guarantee that he takes the field. You stay in Cleveland, though. We got you, right? You stay in Cleveland, we got you. That's your job, and you'll have a year to improve your stock and get a huge contract next year, right? And really, you don't have to ask. You just tell them that that's what's going to happen. You're going to stay. We got you on the contract, right? So they can do that if they want. They can play hardball if they want. So this may not be over. And boy, you want to talk about laughing in Cleveland? I'm gonna be laughing.
Nitro's still saying that he's gonna make people regret not getting him. I just don't understand why going to a worse situation is gonna make him play better than he did in Cleveland.
Yeah, why would they? Why would people regret it? They know what Baker Mayfield is, and and here's the thing about Baker, he can play well sometimes. He just can't do it consistently.
You just described every quarterback in the history of the National Football League except Tim Tebow.
Yeah, look, he's up and down, right? He's up and down, and it just seems like he has to play with a chip on his shoulder, which he will, because he wants to show that, hey, they hitched their saddle to the wrong person, and Deshaun Watson. They should have never got rid of me. Now look, watch me go over here and ball out, and maybe he does ball out for next year, but then he gets that contract, and he's gonna have another bad year, right? Like that's his MO, and there's not going to be any regrets on getting somebody like that. He's not going to be any top quarterback in the league. He might turn out to be average. You never regret losing out on average QBs.
No. Naturally, he had weapons in Cleveland too, and he had a much better O-line. They don't have that in Seattle.
Much better O-line. Much better O-line. Much better running backs.
Yes.
Right.
Look, Pete has his issues, but I don't see. I don't see how Baker Mayfield rolling into Seattle is going to make Seattle any better. I don't see how him rolling into Carolina with Matt Rule coaching him is going to make any kind of difference at all.
And you got to play in you thought the AFC North was physical. Like it used to be physical. AFC North used to be the physical division. You got to play the Rams, right? Aaron Donald's coming back, right? Von Miller. You got to play the Niners. Those are some tough defensive lines when you have no O-line to protect you.
Yeah.
So, but hey, look, Baker, wish you luck. We don't think you're gonna work out, but
it's whatever, man.
I wish you luck in Cleveland because I think you're staying. Okay. All right, next story. What we want to go to next? We want to do a little. Want to talk some Nets?
Yeah, might as well.
All right,
get it out the way.
Look, you see the ticker right here: Kyrie, KD, and the Nets. Okay, even if you're not a basketball fan, you've been seeing what's been going on in the news. So Kyrie, look, I'm not even mad at what he did. This is what you do in negotiations, right? You try to. Steve, look,
that stuff we need to talk about too, but afterwards.
Okay, we talk about that. I haven't watched anything that Stephen A. says. I don't watch Stephen A. at all. Like he's a complete clown show at this point, right? You guys love Stephen A. That's whatever. Like he entertains you, but he's a complete clown show to me. I don't respect anything he says, sports wise anymore. Not even for basketball, but he's trying to get a fully maxed deal. He wants to get for 5 years or whatever. And the Nets were like, well, no. And what I heard today, what I read from Sham's article in The Athletic was that they were actually close a couple times on a couple different deals. So both sides want to get a deal done. And I think that's still the case. But Kyrie said, "Hey, this is the time to negotiate." So maybe I'll say, "Hey, I'm willing to go to the Lakers, and if I go, KD's gonna want to go too, right?" I don't think KD was actually going to leave if Kyrie left, but that's his friend. And if Kyrie says, "Hey man, just go along with it, just don't say nothing," he's gonna say, "Okay, fine." I'm not gonna respond to it. I'm not gonna say anything about it, but I'll let you run your game and see if it works. Right? That makes sense. The Nets were like, "Actually, you can both go."
Yeah. and I know that there were a lot of people out there saying, "Oh man, look how the Nets look terrible. They're going to lose both of them." And my thing was always, those two got swept in the first round of the playoffs. So what does it matter? You both got swept in the first round of the playoffs, and you have one star who doesn't care about playing basketball, and another star who apparently can't function without his friend. Yeah. Move on.
Yeah. Okay. So, in reality, that's not what was actually going down, right? I don't think KD ever was thinking about leaving. He signed the extension last year, right? He has every intention of, I think, finishing out his career in Brooklyn. I just think Kyrie wants to finish out his career in Brooklyn as well. He wants to be locked into the same long-term deal, but they're not. Look, you just haven't been available. And Brooklyn wants him there, but I think they want him to understand, like, you're gonna have to show up moving forward. Right?
Oh, you see, you're calling Stephen A. clown, but that's what he said. He went on there and he was like, "Oh yeah, I guess Kyrie's a peon like the rest of us because he has to show up to work and do his job if he wants to get his money."
No. Like, I'm not saying the same thing. I'm just saying, like, I mean, yes, any job's gonna want that from you, right? Yeah. They won't, and it's not the antics. I told you yesterday, B. It's not all those antics that he's been doing, right? It's not the, I don't want to get vaxxed, or I'm protesting because of January 6th or whatever.
I got a Zoom meeting this week.
Yeah, it's not. It's none of that is the reason why they're not willing to extend him for 5 years. It's that you got swept.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's that you weren't there 2 years in a row in the playoffs.
That's the thing. Like, you're not coming through, and that's for both of them. That's why they're saying, if you obviously nobody wants to lose KD. He's an amazing player, but if it comes to that, y'all aren't holding up your end of the deal, right? We ain't come here to just look good in a regular season. We're trying to win a championship, and a team like that cannot get swept in the first round. I understand Boston's a good team. But,
and especially after you were out there talking about, we want Boston.
Yeah, they play terrible.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, you don't have any leverage. KD doesn't have any leverage either, right? Because he just signed a 4-year extension. They control his contract. He can, superstars have some control in the NBA. Look, it's a players' league. They have a lot of control. They have a lot of influence. But KD's situation is, he's 34 years old. He's on a 4-year deal. If they say, "Hey man, we just don't want to trade you," he's not going to hold out.
Right.
Okay. Like, he's just not going to do that.
Well, and like we discussed, especially when your former sidekicks just got ring number 4 and everybody is telling you that you were the sidekick.
Yeah. So I don't think that was on KD's mind at all, leaving, really. I think even for Kyrie now, I still think, earlier, they're saying, "Oh, he could still be moved," or whatever. But honestly, I think they do want to keep him, and I think he wants to stay. It's just a matter of how many years is he willing to accept. And I think they will get a deal done. They're going to be here, but it's just they had to be more locked in onto the season, starting with Kyrie, because okay, KD can have that bad series, and we can say, "Man, you played terrible," but KD will come back and correct those things. Kyrie, who's already been on record saying, "Hey, basketball is not the most important thing in his life right now. This and that." Mm-hmm. Is he going to take it serious next year? Right. That's the question we had to ask. And that's the question they're asking. If he shows that, I mean, he's an amazing talent. Of course, they're going to want to keep him. So the Nets are going to be fine. I think they're going to be fine. And even if they had to blow it all up, I believe in that front office. I think what they would have to get in return for those guys would be a good pull. And they know how to draft and they know how to develop. So I'm not worried about the Nets' future. But KD and Kyrie, I don't think they're going anywhere.
What's going on, Eric L?
Shout out to Eric L. Says, greetings, everyone. Know all is most excellent. Glad to support another marvelous show by two of the best brothers around. Shout out to you, Eric. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
But real quick with the Nets, there is talk that they are going to be going after DeAndre Ayton and trying to trade for him. So in that scenario, I mean, obviously they have to move somebody, right? No. No.
Oh.
Okay. The talk had been, from what I see, the rumor was Nick Claxton, Beef Jerky Joe, maybe Cam Thomas. I think maybe one other player in there. So if that happens, I'm not sure if that can still happen with Kyrie opted in. I'm not sure exactly. Well, I mean, it should, as long as those salaries match up. But if that happens, they are coming back again extremely dangerous. And if they're all locked in, then they should be able to plow through the Eastern Conference and get to the finals.
So you like that move? I mean, I like it, but
yeah. I like Nick Claxton, right? I do. I'm a fan of Nick Claxton. He's from, his family's from St. Croix, where half our family is from. So I like him. But DeAndre Ayton's a much better player than him. Much better.
Yeah. But Nick Claxton, he's still growing, he's still developing. So was DeAndre.
Listen,
this is why I have faith in Brooklyn, right? Because we developed so many players over the years, and every time they trade them off, like I hate to see them go. Like I hated when we traded away Jared Allen.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't like that we traded away Karis LeVert. Like we get players, we develop them. I'm just like, but man, let's keep them. Right. Cam Thomas looks like he's he's going to develop into a good solid player. Like those players, I don't like to see them leave, but I gotta trust that they're going to replace those guys.
Yeah, if you're talking about a lot of role players. So Patty Mills just opted out. Bruce Brown is a free agent. He's probably not coming back. They're probably going to lose
Bruce Brown too, man.
Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge, all these. It's a lot of names, right? And a lot of guys that you like that played their role well. But if you turn around and your lineup is Kyrie Irving, or Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Ayton, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who any of those other guys are.
Nitro says, why? Those New York taxes are nasty. Dallas or Miami, here I come. Kyrie won. The Knicks was one of the teams that was on his list. He's from New York. That's why.
Yeah.
Like, when they're making that kind of money, they're not worried. Look, these players don't care about taxes. Right? They don't look at money the same way we look at money. You gotta think about this. These guys have been playing basketball from the time they were kids. There's always somebody managing that other stuff for them. So the way they look at money isn't the same way as we look at money as adults. Okay, like some of these guys, they come from poor neighborhoods, but they didn't have to live in those poor neighborhoods as adults. They didn't have to pay bills, take care of rent, buy groceries and all that stuff. They don't look at the money the same way. They just know that they have it. So if they got to get taxed a little bit more someplace, whatever, I'm still rich. And shout out to Chris Wright, man, for the donation. Chris says, imagine losing to the Warriors with Kyrie, Ben Simmons, KD, and Kyrie on your team. Losing to the Warriors with Kyrie.
I don't understand how that's going to happen when the Warriors aren't going to be in the finals.
Look, so I don't know how I feel about the Warriors. I think B thinks that was their last run. I don't think that was the last run.
I'm not saying it was their last run in that they now suck, but they're not going to get back to the finals.
I think we're all sleeping on.
I think
we're all sleeping on James Wiseman. Okay,
no. That is one thing that we are definitely not doing. I think we're all sleeping on the fact that they wouldn't have gotten there if John Morant didn't get hurt. That's what we're sleeping on.
All right. MDT Sports says Warriors going back next year. MDT Sports, man, I think they're in the mix. I think they're in the mix. Who else is going to be in the mix? The Los Angeles Lakers. I'm not just saying that because B's my brother. Okay. I'm not just saying that because he's my brother. The Lakers, look, they're about winning. Okay. And they have LeBron. And yes, AD, he gets broken up. I understand, he's Mr. Glass, but when AD is healthy, he's one of the best players in the league, right? And I know they don't have much options, and they're trying to do whatever they can to get help in there. But the reality is if AD just comes back healthy, he plays a healthy season, they're a very good team. Okay. And they just have to make the right small moves, right? So they're veteran, or what do you call it, mid-level exception or whatever.
Yeah, exception.
They have to hit on that, get a couple of good solid pieces. Russell Westbrook, they're gonna have to find a way to trade him and get some solid pieces for him.
Well, they're saying they want to bring him back and make it work with Russ, but whatever. If LeBron hadn't shown up in LA, they would be one of the worst teams in the league right now. That front office is god awful. But we'll see what they do. They have the mid-level exception. If they can convince Malik Monk to come back, he said he would take less money if they do a good job actually, bringing somebody in with the limited resources that they have. Like I said, it's about the health.
Yeah.
You can't expect a full season out of LeBron or AD, and they need a roster that is capable and willing to win games on their own during the regular season, and enough to get them into the playoffs, and then LeBron and AD will carry you. It didn't happen last year, but we'll see. I mean, people saying the Lakers ain't beating the Warriors like they didn't just eliminate them from the playoffs the year before. But whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be real about it, right? I mean, you could say, oh, well, because they were hurt, but the Lakers were hurt this year. So, I mean,
and last year when
both teams
when they eliminated.
So let me ask you this: both teams healthy. Who's better, LeBron and AD or Steph and Clay? Right? Like, I mean, it's LeBron and AD.
and
they still have the better
LeBron
players.
And AD with no question.
Yeah, they still have the better players. Now, like, they have look, the Warriors have an amazing team. They know how to put together a team. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be tough, but LeBron and AD healthy, I mean, that's really all you need. Yeah. Health is what they need. That's it. And shout out to Anonymous for the donation. Says Westbrook to the Hornets or Bradley Beal to the Celtics.
Man, I hope they dump Westbrook on somebody. I mean, look, it's entirely possible that Westbrook comes back and he's a better player than he was. I mean, he still has ability. I think the biggest problem with him is his mindset. That he doesn't have the mindset of I'm not a star anymore. Anything is possible, right? Maybe somebody put a hex on him. Maybe he used this offseason to make amends and he's going to come back and be just fine. I don't know. But at this point, I kind of want them to just move on, get a couple of decent role players if they can, and roll with just LeBron and AD and some of the younger guys that they have on the team. They're saying they want Westbrook there, which I'm assuming they're saying so he appears to have some kind of value. Right. I think they're still trying to work deals. They made an offer to Brooklyn, obviously, for Kyrie. But they had already earlier this offseason apparently turned down an offer from Charlotte for Westbrook. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. Bradley Beal, man. Bradley Beal don't care about winning basketball games, and that's fine. He's going to make all of the money in Washington, and it's okay. He's a good player. He's not a great player. It's not like this is going to tarnish his legacy or anything like that. Whatever. He's going to take that money in Washington and just, play out his days in obscurity.
Yeah. All right. And shout out to Chris White for another donation. Let me bring it back up here. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
He says Lakers need some young guys to play defense. Their pace of play and total offense were good enough to win. Defense was horrible. Yeah, I agree.
Well, and I think that's because, and you mentioned it, but I think it's because they had a lot of old guys who came in with the understanding that we're here because we have experience and we're going to, and the Lakers are going to need us in big moments in the playoffs. And they said, we're not here to win you regular season games because my name is Trevor Ariza and that's not what I do. Yeah. But yeah, they got rid of the coach. I think Darvin Ham was a good hire. I think he'll be able to rally the players and get them excited and playing defense again. Because, I mean, since LeBron's been there, they've been one of the better defensive teams in the league. Yeah. And that's also part of why I would like to see them maybe bring back Dennis Schroeder. He did a good job in LA.
They shouldn't have got rid of him.
No,
they shouldn't have. Yeah. Yeah. And shout out to Ferris. Let me bring this back up. Ferris says, I just want to shout out the Detroit Pistons for taking them contracts. Detroit basketball, and respect to the homies. But screw you, B. Wow. I can't read that.
Man. So, you know what's funny? I wasn't going to say anything, but I noticed earlier when I was reading an article about the Knicks, with basically
Ferris is a Knicks fan, by the way, if you don't
know. Tearing them a new one for going after Jalen Brunson. But I didn't even realize that when they were dumping those contracts on Detroit, they gave away, I think it's 5 future second-round picks and a future first. Now, they got back a worse pick for the first, but they gave away a ton of assets to get rid of the mediocre players that they've spent years accumulating because nobody with any kind of skill or ambition wants to play for the New York Knicks.
But they are going to get Jalen Brunson.
They are going to get Jalen Brunson because they gave his daddy a job.
Hey,
so
listen.
Quid pro quo there.
Hashtag whatever it takes.
Yeah. you know what's really funny about that too? They've got they gave away all those picks. They traded away their pick in the draft this year. They're giving away these players all to clear room for Jalen Brunson for over $20 million a year when a better guard just got traded to the Hawks who's only making 16.
DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray, he went for Danilo Gallinari and 3 first-round picks. Knicks could have done that, man, if they had any kind of damn sense in their head.
And shout out to Danity. What's going on, Danity? She says, "Is the background a basketball court?" It is. It is. Look. When we talk about these stories, like we like to clip the videos sometimes to put them out as shorter videos. But I noticed, like, man, whenever we're talking basketball, we have a football background. So when we talk basketball, let's change the background to a basketball background. I didn't change my background behind me. I should have changed it because I have a basketball one. But next time I'll remember to do that. But thank you for noticing. Yes. And MDT Sports, man, he says, y'all going to see, stop talking trash. It's not trash talking. It's our opinion. There's no trash talking going on. Like the Warriors, y'all act like the Warriors are unstoppable.
Right. Like they didn't almost get beat by a Grizzlies team that didn't have John Morant.
Hey, come on, man. Let's not do this.
Okay? Like Clay didn't look like trash in the final.
I just said they're in the mix again, right? Like they're a good team. But the Lakers, they just won a title a couple years ago. Okay. They just beat this Warriors team. You can say the Warriors are hurt, but again, the Lakers were hurt this year. Okay. I don't care how you guys feel about LeBron. He's still one of the best players in the league. You can't dispute that. He's not washed. He's one of the best in the league. AD, when he's healthy, is one of the best in the league, right? Like you can't dispute that. That's just what it is. Like those guys don't suck. They have the better players. You want to say Golden State has a better team overall, you can make the argument for it. But talent beats out everything else. Like that's just what it comes down to. So I mean, look, I'm not saying for sure that the Lakers are better when all things are equal. I'm just saying they definitely had the better 2 players.
And you know what else? You know what else? It's something that we all know for fact. They're afraid of LeBron. And you know that factors in too.
Yeah,
they are scared of that man.
Shout out to Ferris.
Thank you, Ferris.
Ferris
don't read that. Don't read that nonsense. We got another.
Hey, I'll give you the shortened version. Ferris doesn't care about 2 second round picks. They're meaningless in basketball. That's not true. They're not. No, and you know what? I'm not having this conversation with you about the money. We have already talked about that to death, and you wrong, Brodny. And he called you a winner.
I'm wrong that DeJounte Murray is making less and is a better player. That's weird.
Listen. Let's not give away too much. If you want to hear more of Ferris's banter, okay, you're gonna. Is that Ferris again? Oh, okay. I want to say. Shout out to Tracy H with the donation. Tracy says, "Didn't know you 2 were brothers. That's cool. Yes. B is actually my little brother. He's bigger than me, but he's my little brother. Yes.
Tracy calling me out for being light skinned. It's all right.
Okay. Look, we still got some Ravens to get to. Ravens to get to. We'll do it on the other side of Lunch Money Bets. But now it is time for you gambling degenerates to get your pen and paper ready, because our man D Weezy is in the house to give you the hot takes. Now before you start, if you're not really a bettor, or you're thinking about getting into it, take this time to put some questions in the chat. If there's some things that you don't quite understand, some terminology you don't understand, or you're saying, hey man, I would like to I like to bet on the game. Like, like what do these lines mean or whatever? Like what's a good thing? Like put those in the chat. Okay. D Weezy is not here just to give you the hot takes and help you win money. He's here to educate you. So our man D Weezy, what's going on, my friend? How are we doing?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Derek?
Not much, man. That's not much. So how did the lines look last
week? I gotta
week?
tell you, man, I love the Batman hat every time.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. I think that might be one of the fan favorites out of the ones I currently have.
Yeah. All right. So what we got going on?
Well, yeah, last week I was pointing out to y'all how, there are windows that come available in the live markets. Both those games I pointed out last week. Both teams ended up winning outright, even though I decided to go with the run line getting a run and a half. But the money line is another approach you can take with a situation like that where the favorite falls behind. This week, I'm currently going to give a couple different player props, but in baseball, going to the Angels, we have Shohei Ohtani, very popular name. I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there recognize the name, even if they don't follow baseball much. He's been a strikeout machine. He's backed up, all the talk and hype behind him. And over 6.5 strikeouts, minus 104. I definitely like that number. He's capable of double-digit strikeouts, which is something you don't see much in today's baseball, especially out of a starting pitcher. You might find that number with a little more juice currently, maybe even up around 7.5 if the number's moved any. But this is an area where kind of like how y'all have heard me talk before in basketball with Steph Curry and his 3-point prop. If you feel confident enough behind it and the situation that's going on, you can push that number out a little bit. Maybe go and attack over 8.5, over 9.5, saying he might have a double-digit night in him. But like I said, I got the number at 6.5, and I like it there. Moving on to another prop, home run props. It's something that's a little more hit or miss. You'll definitely find better odds. Me personally, I like to try and attack some of the better home run hitters in the season. So I generally wait and hold off for some stretch to let the season get going. See, who's hitting their stride. Are you getting what you expect out of certain players? There are certain people, surprising the league, maybe doing something unexpected. This week I got Byron Buxton. He's one of the top home run hitters in the league currently. As far as MLB top 10, probably in the range of top 5 in the National League. Plus 250. Like I said, you get a little bit better odds because, guys ain't walking out hitting home runs every night, but you start getting around that 200 range, plus 250, that sub 300 range, you're talking about your better home run hitters in the league and guys that potentially have a chance to go off any night, any game. And that's what my next prop is, another home run prop as I move on to Mike Trout with the Angels. If I'm not mistaken, last night he went yard in that game. He's another guy. He's up there in tops and home runs this season and just looking to ride that hot hand at plus 200.
All right. And we got something here from Raven Ron. Raven Ron says Degenerate Ron's bets parlay. Los Angeles Dodgers minus 1.5. Rockies and Angels money line. What's CHW?
That's the Chicago White Sox.
White Sox, yes.
Yeah. So what he's saying here is he's got the Dodgers minus 1.5 on the run line and against the Rockies, and the Angels money line against the Chicago White Sox. I actually like both of these plays. Something I was looking at, a little parlay I put together. Something y'all seen me do on Backyard Action Media with the videos I put out there. There are windows that come available to maybe try and attack two favorites where typically by itself that number might be juiced a lot, but you slap it together in a parlay, you definitely find a better number. I took the money lines and was able to find plus money at plus 132 with what I did. So yeah, I'm fully behind what he's saying here. He's saying the Dodgers gonna win by 2 or more runs. Angels win outright tonight. The White Sox have been just playing awful and not coming in the way people expected. So yeah, I'm definitely behind both of those plays right there.
All right. Okay. And there you have it. And you mentioned your YouTube channel, Backyard Action Media. Go ahead and plug your stuff. Let people know about the channel and let them also know where they can find you on Twitter and all that good stuff.
Yeah, like Jose said, Backyard Action Media, BAM. You definitely get more content out of D Weezy there. I still have the server and things in the Discord. You can get at me at Twitter at dweatherly90. And as Jose mentioned, even when I first came on starting Lunch Money Bets, this was about more than just giving plays, educating the better and enlightening the better. Because even if you're somebody that might dabble with a little something, or certain markets, you may have a curiosity for other things or how people approach it. And, all it takes is a simple question. I'm happy to get back to anybody about anything I can.
All right. And you can find D Weezy as well on our overtime show, which happens right after this show. And also he has a channel on our Discord, Lunch Money Bets. So you have any questions, you can post it in there. We'll tell you how to sign up for that in a minute. But D Weezy, thank you very much. And we will see you shortly, my friend.
All right, everybody, take care out there.
All right. That was D Weezy. Yes. And as I mentioned before, right below me, patreon.com/LBHT show. Okay. That's where we have our Discord for as little as $3 a month. You can sign up for that. And I mean, we have a few channels in there. We got a general channel, we talk sports, we have a Ring Kings channel. We talk a lot of boxing on there. We have the Lunch Money Bets on there. So well worth the $3. Okay. But we have three tiers. We have 3 tiers: 3, 10, and 20. Okay. B, take yourself off mute and tell us about the tiers real quick.
Yeah. So not muted, it's fine. $3 tier is going to get you into our NFL Pick'em League that we do every season, where we give away a custom LBHT trophy at the end of the season. The $10 tier will get you into our Fantasy Football League. We have a Dynasty League right now that's currently full. If there's enough interest, we'll start up a second one, but we do a redraft league towards the start of the season every year. We give away a custom championship, Stop It Mikey, custom championship belt for the Dynasty League. I got the picture of it right here. This is going to be this year's belt. It's the LCFL. That's our league logo. What you see on the side there, that is the logo of the champion from last season. So the person who wins gets to put their logo onto the belt, kind of like a boxing thing, a little legacy going on there. Also, with the $10 tier, you get the ability to request specific content. If you want articles or videos on a specific sports topic, we'll produce that for you. You can do that once a month. It also gives you our LBHT crew coin that Jose has right there.
Yes.
Black or the gold and silver. And so for our $20 tier, it's a combined tier for this channel as well as Ring Kings, and that'll get you everything I just mentioned, as well as our custom poker set featuring our top 25 fighters of all time. And all the tiers will get you entrance into the overtime show as well as our Discord channel.
All right. And shout out to our guy Garnett West. Thanks for coming through, my friend. Good to see you. Yes, Mikey, the Pick'em's champion. Okay, he wants to remind you that he is a champion and you must respect your champions. Okay, B. All right, where's the picture? Did you?
No.
Hey, yes. You must respect your champion. All right. All right. And a couple things we mentioned at the top of the hour. 2 ways to do super chat. If you're looking for those animations, hey, how to get the comment to come up near Jose's face like everybody else did? There are 2 ways you do that. One right below B, $ LBHT show. Okay. Also, that pin link that you see in the comment, I'll take you to a Stream Elements. Either way, you just make your payment in there, leave your comment, and you will get that animation right there. Okay. And we thank you guys for the support. Also, if you like what we're wearing, you like the merch, this is where you get it right here. Okay. LBHTshow.com/shop. That shirt that you see right there, those shirts, those are on the store as well as other things. We have a lot of things on there, and we're constantly making updates on there. So check it out and let us know what you think. Okay. Also, we mentioned our other podcast earlier.
Yes.
Ring Kings podcast. Right. Why don't you go over there, hit subscribe button. We're trying to hit a quick goal of 150 and then 200 and then 1,000. Okay. So so if you have interest in boxing or combat sports, you will see on there sometimes too. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. We just recorded our pound for pound list. It's not out yet. Actually, we have our guy Deshaun, who's working on the edits. He's working hard on it. He did put out a video about up and coming boxers and desires. He also did the work on that as well. So yeah, man, we got a lot of content coming up on that channel. So yeah, go check us out, man. Appreciate it. Now, okay.
Got Garnet here says, I found my coin moving into my new house. Did you find your coin, or did the coin lead you home to your new house?
These are also lucky coins. I did not mention this earlier. This coin, look. I mean, so I've heard. Okay, so I've heard this coin brings people luck. So you know, the coin led him to a new house. What can I say?
What's going on, Buck?
What's up, Buck? Thanks for coming through, man. All right, let's talk some Ravens. Okay, it's a slow part of the season. There's not a whole lot there's not a lot to talk about. Okay, and we don't really like doing a whole lot of prediction stuff this early. We don't like talking about top this, top that, or whatever. I mean, it's fine. You gotta have something to talk about. That's fine. And sometimes that could be fun. We just don't want to do a whole lot of that. But
like you said to start with, there's not a lot to talk about.
But Just Rabic put out this article. It was an interesting article, right? And we discussed it. I said, well, it's a little early to talk about 53-man roster, but I like some of the things. I thought some of the things were interesting that he was saying in the article. So why don't you go ahead and kind of?
Well, yeah, and like you said, it's kind of a hindsight thing. Like in hindsight, I should have pulled up the article before we got to this point of the show, but I've got it up now. So at quarterback, not really any surprises there. We've got Lamar Jackson and Tyler Huntley. Those are the only two making the roster. Now at running back, this is where it starts to get a little bit interesting. He's got J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Mike Davis, and Tyler Beatty. Is it Beatty or Batty?
I think it's Beatty, but I always say Batty. But I think it is Beatty.
Okay, so you got him making the team. He says that Justice Hill is right in the mix, and long shots are Nate McCrary and Ricky Person. Now, I know your opinion. You think that Justice Hill is going to make it. I think that 5 running backs is just too much, especially when you consider that Pat Ricard is really another running back. He's a fullback.
Is he a fullback? We're going to talk about that.
But I do think that obviously Dobbins and Edwards make it. Mike Davis, I guess. There's nothing wrong with Mike Davis. He's a guy who's there. Whatever, that's fine. So I guess it really kind of just comes down to Beatty and Justice Hill for me. I'm a big fan of Justice Hill. And it just seems like things have not been going his way in Baltimore. Maybe he'd be better off if he was able to catch on somewhere else.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. Like the chances that he's gotten, I don't think he's played poorly, right? Mm-hmm. And I think they really like him too because he really stepped his game up on special teams. And honestly, had he been able to play last year, he could have done some damage. He definitely would have gotten an opportunity, that's for sure, right? I don't know what kind of player he'd be as a starter, or getting more carries, but he's shown some flashes. He is a player that's shown some flashes. They obviously like him for his special teams ability. Now it's going to be a matter of what can Beatty do in special teams. That's going to determine that spot. But the reason why I say they all make it initially is because I don't think I don't think Gus Edwards is going to start the season out. I should say he's going to start the season out on the PUP list. That's how I feel. We haven't seen him out there at practice at all. We've at least seen J.K. Dobbins out there doing a couple like exercises, but I feel like it's a possibility that Edwards at least starts the season on the PUP list, and if that's the case, they'll keep another running back.
I mean, for me, I would be pretty concerned if he started on PUP list. I don't think he will. I mean, you're talking about a full year removed from the tear. I would expect him to be ready for the season. Maybe he starts training camp on PUP, but I would expect him to be ready for the season. So if he started out on PUP, that would be concerning to me. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, obviously.
But okay, let's say if he is healthy, he's not on the PUP list, and one of these guys has to go, I would say it would be Beatty, because Beatty would most likely be available. He'll clear waivers and he can go to the practice squad.
I don't know that he will clear waivers. I'm not 100% sure he would. I know that they can cut Justice Hill and probably call Justice Hill back if they need him.
Okay. The only reason I would say it would probably be Beatty, because Justice Hill, they love the veteran guys, and he's established himself on special teams already. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. We'll see. I'm inclined to agree with Jeff here and say that Beatty makes it. Okay. Moving on to wide receivers, we've got Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, Tylan Wallace. I know, big surprise. Those are the only ones you have. But he has Jalen Moore making it as well. He says right in the mix, Benjamin Victor and Devin Williams, and nobody else really has a shot. And even in the write-up, he says that he doesn't really expect like Jalen Moore to make the team. It's just that they only have 4 wide receivers. So really, really expecting them to go and bring in a veteran at some point.
Okay. So he thinks there's only going to be 5 wide receivers on a 53-man roster.
Yes.
That might be accurate. But it won't be Jalen Moore, right?
No.
Listen. I've said before, don't be shocked if James Prochet gets cut, right? They're definitely bringing in a veteran. Okay, they're definitely bringing in a veteran. We know that. Rashad Bateman's the starter. Devin Duvernay is going to get more snaps over Prochet, because I mean they've kind of said already that they want to take that next step. Okay, so now you have Bateman, Duvernay, whatever veteran we bring in. Those are going to be the guys that are going to get the most snaps. They're going to be the starter. Now the next 2. It's going to come down to look, Prochet should he should be in there. It should be 4. So it's really down to that 5th person, right? Who's going to make it in that 5th spot. But again, man, special teams plays a major role in it.
Well, yeah, and at that point, you're saying that Tylan Wallace is just
Tylan Wallace. I forgot about Tylan Wallace. No. Right. So Tylan Wallace is that other player.
Yeah. At this point, I would be shocked. I would be pretty surprised if Prochet got cut at this point, just because, I mean, I was expecting them to be more aggressive in trying to upgrade the talent at wide receiver, and they're not. Like, they do not care. They are absolutely fine going in with this crew. I mean, obviously, I think they'll add a veteran just to fill out the depth chart, but it seems they're fine with these guys. So I would be surprised if he was cut, but I do think that those 4 plus either a Julio Jones or a Will Fuller or whoever, or God forbid,
don't say
T.Y. Hilton.
Oh man,
a Eugene Hilton. But yeah, that's kind of what I expect there. I don't think that any of the other guys, particularly any of the undrafted free agents, really have any shot of making the roster, barring injury.
Mikey says, Slade Bolden, baby.
No.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to keep that many wide receivers. But the next position, is this what we're talking about? The tight ends?
Well, and actually, I did read it wrong the first time. This is tight end / fullback, so he does have him listed as a fullback.
Oh, okay.
So he's got them keeping 5. Pat Ricard, obviously the one fullback. Yeah, he's going to make it because he's Pat Ricard, and apparently being a racist isn't enough to get you up out of there.
Never forget.
Tight end, you got Mark Andrews, who apparently is the number 5 tight end in the league, according to Darren Waller. That ruffled some feathers earlier today.
Is that what he said?
Darren Waller had him listed at 5th, And I think what really annoyed people is that he had Kyle Pitts fourth. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah. I kind of agree. It was
He's moved up on my list. He's moved up on my list, man.
It was Mark Andrews fifth, Kyle Pitts, then Kittle, Kelsey, and then obviously Darren Waller number one. I mean, just for the record, if I'm saying who is the best right now, I would put Mark Andrews second behind Kelsey.
Yeah, I would too.
But I'm trying, just talking about who I would want. I'm taking Kyle Pitts before Mark Andrews. If we're talking about, the full length of their career.
Yeah.
So Mark Andrews, Nick Boyle, Charlie Kohler, Isaiah Likely, and Pat Ricard, in that tight ends and fullback group. And I mean, I don't really think there's anything to argue with there. He says Josh Oliver's in the mix. I don't like a team that's planning to keep that many tight ends. I think it's just a bad plan.
Hendo says they will keep 7 tight ends.
Oh, so you got Josh Oliver and Tony Poljan making it.
So I want to ask everybody in the chat. Put in the chat. Let me know. I'm just curious. Isaiah Likely, there are talks that he could convert to a wide receiver. How many of you guys think he will convert to a wide receiver? I'm just curious. All right. Look, I mean, I'm not making any judgment based off of mini camp, right? But I have a good feeling about Isaiah Likely. I think he'll be good as a pass catching tight end. If he converts to a wide receiver, I'm just curious. How do you guys feel? Like, you think he will convert to that? I mean, we don't have a lot to go off of right now. We gotta wait till training camp. But look, ain't nothing to talk about right now. So let's give us your thoughts on that. Okay, Raven Ron says Likely going wide receiver. Okay,
I don't know that he's going wide. I don't think he's going to go wide receiver at 240.
Oh yeah. How many wide receivers are that big?
Right, not many.
What was his 40 time?
Very few. I'm not sure what his 40 time.
I know you showed the clock the 40 time. Living Legend says maybe. JP says, guys, it's likely.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like no, he's not. He ran a 4.8.
A 4.8,
according to this. Now, yeah. I think he's more athletic than that, but and the 40 time isn't everything. But I would not expect him to move to wide receiver.
Mikey says Likely is Boykin 2.0.
Wow.
Listen. If you think I trapped you guys again, I got you. If you think Likely is going to make that transition to wide receiver, Prochet's cut. Like, Prochet can't afford any of these guys to step up and really turn heads and make a spot. Prochet will be cut, my friends.
Because Prochet is going to do whatever it takes except get out there on that special teams unit. No, sir.
Yeah.
That's not for me.
Yeah. All right. Other positions, what we got?
Yeah. So moving on to the O-line, Ronnie Stanley, Tyree Phillips, Tyler Lindenbaum, Kevin Zeitler, Morgan Moses, Patrick McCarry, Jawan James, Ben Cleveland, and Daniel Faalele, which means that he is saying that there's a good chance that Ben Powers and Tristan Colon-Castillo have played their last games as Baltimore Ravens.
Ben Powers and Tristan Colon-Castillo.
And I know that's not right because Marshall Yonda told me that Ben Powers is going to be great.
Wow. I can see that. I can see that. They really need. Look, right now they said Ben Cleveland is still not standing out. Like, he's not winning. I don't think Ben Cleveland's going to be a starter, to be honest. Like, they drafted him with a lot of high hopes. He didn't look great his first year. Look, I mean, rookie year, it's fine. You don't have to look great, but I don't think he'll beat out Tyree Phillips at that left guard position.
Mm-hmm.
But they had to make it work. I said it. I said it before the draft. It doesn't matter who they draft. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they draft this year. It just has to work. This year's draft has to work. The players from last year's draft have to work. They're out of time. Like, you can't keep missing on these picks, especially when you keep going to these drafts with almost double-digit picks.
Yeah.
Yes, every year. It's time for them to show out, and they really need Ben Cleveland to step up, right? Can he do it? I don't know. I don't know if he can. But Ben Powers getting cut. That's not good. All right.
No.
Tristan Castillo, was he drafted? I think he was an undrafted player.
I want to say he was undrafted.
Yeah. But also, that goes to show you too that they really put in the work on the O line that these guys are getting cut too. So I'm or possibly getting cut. So I'm good with that. Raven Ron says O line: Stanley, Cleveland, Linderbaum, Zeitler, Moses, bench, T Long, last name Phillips.
But they're gonna keep more than 7 linemen.
Yeah, I think so. Ravens Online on Gatekeeper says if they keep Phillips, they will keep Cleveland. Okay. Yeah. Cleveland will rotate in with him. I think so. But yeah, it's between Cleveland and Phillips for that left guard position. I believe.
Dave Bond says Prochet plays special teams. Yeah, he plays a bit. Not as much as other guys.
Yeah. Apparently Linderbaum will make guys better. We'll see. There's a lot of expectation on Linderbaum. There should be high expectations on Tyler Linderbaum. Every center that has been drafted in the first round has made it to a second contract with their team. That's an amazing stat, right? So that means when they get scouted that high, they almost can't miss, right?
That stat's never come up against EDC before, has it? We shall see. And you can take that any way you want. You can take that to mean he can't draft. You can take that to mean he's too cheap to be able to give out a second contract. You have fun with that. Whatever.
Yeah. All right, we got any more positions to break down there?
Yeah. So we're moving on from the O-line to the defensive line. Now this is not including edge rushers. This is just the interior defensive line. He's got Calais Campbell, Michael Pierce, Justin Madubuike, Broderick Washington, Travis Jones, and Brent Urban, with Isaiah Mack right in the mix, and then a couple of long shots there. I can't think of anything. I mean, no offense to this guy. I'm sure he's a good person, but I can't think of anything more pointless than Brent Urban making your 53-man roster. And I don't know. But outside of that, I mean, I agree with everything there.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what the point of Brent Urban is.
Yeah, he's one of those tryhards again. I think they just like to have those guys around.
Yeah,
but yeah, that seems pretty accurate so far.
Moving on to edge rushers, we got Owe, Tyus Bowser.
Urban legend, baby.
Yes. Owe, Tyus Bowser, Dalen Hayes, and I forgot they even signed this guy, Vince Beagle. I remember when
Beagle. When they signed him?
I remember when Yusuf Mosqueda was super high on him when the Packers got him, because he was a very good athlete and he thought he was going to break out, and then didn't hear anything at all from him, and then he found his way to Baltimore. But so this is obviously another area where they're going to have to go out and add some people. He's got Steven Means right in the mix. But that's about it. Obviously David Ajabo, he's got him on the non-football injury list. I mean, who knows if he's going to be able to play at all this year. So this is another, like wide receiver. I think this is another area where they're going to be looking outside of the organization to fill in the depth chart.
And I told y'all, the Ravens do not care about edge rushers. Yes. That is not a need. That is not a need for them, right? Pass rushing was not a need for them. That's not how they built their defense. And they have a good defense. Like, yes, I would like to see the pass rushing be better. I would like to see them stop blitzing as much. And you guys think because we got rid of Wink, we're not going to blitz as much. We are.
I think they'll be just fine with those guys. I think Bowser, Owe, and Hayes are all going to play really well. I obviously see the need for bringing in, another veteran, just so you have depth. But I think those, yeah, I mean, we all know it's just Houston. But I think those top three are going to play really well for Baltimore. I really do.
I do too. I do too. I'm just saying, like, when there was talk that we should draft the pass rusher, the top pick. I never felt that was going to be the case. Right.
Yeah,
but look, Look, we got Owe at the house, okay? We got Owe at the house. We don't need another shiny piece. We got Owe at the house. You guys loved Owe in the draft last year.
Mm-hmm.
He did fine. Fine. I think he'll take another step this year. And and Tyus Bowser looked really good at the end of last year. I like our pass rushing, but I still think we're still going to do a lot of blitzing. To be honest, I still think that's going to be the system. That's what they like to do. And our secondary is healthy, and you'll probably talk about the secondary next. So, yeah.
Well, not next. We want to end on a high note. Next is going to be inside linebacker, where we're rocking Patrick Queen, Josh Bynes, Malik Harrison, and Christian Welch, with Josh Ross, Zacoby McClain, and Diego Fagot right in the mix. This is, I mean, as of right now, or just looking at, I have to say it's an awful group. It's maybe the second worst group on the team, next to wide receiver, I would think.
Listen, okay,
but you know what? Wide receiver even has potential to be better than this group, I think.
I'm going to push back a little bit. I like Patrick Queen, man. I think he's going to change the narrative this year, right? Okay. I think he's going to change the narrative. Now,
change it from like he can't tackle to he can't cover, or like change it in a positive way.
In a positive way, man. In a positive way. Now, Malik Harrison. Here's the thing. I said it when we drafted Malik Harrison. I don't think Malik Harrison is a bad player. I just knew he was never going to get a shot in Baltimore, right? Because Patrick Queen is not embarrassing. Okay, I know, Danity. Stop, Jose. That's what Hendo says. I know Hendo is the number one.
Just continue, please.
Okay,
I'll handle the comments. You just continue. Go ahead.
Yes. He's gonna be better this year. All right. But Josh Bynes is probably gonna be a starter again. they're probably gonna start Josh Bynes over Harrison, which is why I don't like. This is what I don't like about Harbaugh. He doesn't let young players go out there and play, make the mistakes, and learn. Right? He's gonna put Josh Bynes out there. It's the same situation when we had LJ Fort. When we drafted Malik Harrison, I said he will never see the field over LJ Fort, because LJ Fort is right at that level, just good enough to be solid. He doesn't make too many mistakes. He knows his assignments, and that will be he's a sound tackler. And that'll be enough to keep Malik Harrison on the bench. That's exactly what happened.
It is time to cut Malik Harrison. My man Jeff Drabick called him a core special teamer. It's over.
Well, they should have focused on middle linebacker, I guess. They tried. They tried. They tried to get Bobby Wagner.
Listen, they tried to get one guy who was never realistically going to come to Baltimore. There were plenty of middle linebackers they could have signed. Carolina signed a couple of them. They are just lazy over there. That's all.
I said that too. This staff is lazy. They just hoping these guys work out, and so they can look like geniuses. But when it doesn't, they know nobody's going to bash them for it except for us.
All right, so moving on to corner. Like I said, we want to end on a high note. At corner, we got Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Kyle Fuller, Brandon Stevens, Jalen Armour Davis, and Demarion Williams. And that is obviously the last two guys are rookies, right? So, we don't know. But I think that's a rock-solid group top to bottom. I think that, PFF had them ranked as the top secondary in the NFL, and I fully agree with that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm feeling a little juvenile right now. But Mikey says Diego will save the day. If Diego turns into a superstar, how many of y'all buying that jersey? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's immature of me. I'm sorry. I just curious. How are y'all gonna get that jersey?
So at safety, we got Marcus Williams, Chuck Clark, Kyle Hamilton, Geno Stone, and Tony Jefferson. He says, Chuck Clark can obviously still be traded or cut, but again, really, really, really good group there. He's got Ardarius Washington right in the mix. If they move on from Chuck Clark, maybe that makes room for Ardarius. But I don't see, as of right now, I don't see a weak link in their secondary. Period.
Yeah, no, and they said Tony Jefferson was looking pretty good in camp. So I'm happy with Tony Jefferson, man. I'm glad he it looked like his career was coming to an end when he got hurt, but he worked his way back. He's still a quality player. And I agree. The secondary, I don't see a weakness. Yeah. Everybody's going to be, I think everybody's going to stay healthy for the most part this year. Look, when we have criticisms of the team, it sounds like we're being pessimistic. No, we're just calling it like we see it. When healthy, our secondary, I think, is the best secondary in the league. I do. I said that last year, but everybody got hurt and got lit up a few times. But everybody's back this year. We have a very good defense. I think we have a very good defense overall. So nothing to worry about there. Really, just my main concern is just coaching, which it is what it is, and the wide receiver core. But everything else, I feel pretty good about. There goes the next Luke Kuechly.
So disrespectful.
That's what Mikey said.
You are right. You can log off.
Okay, all right.
So no. There's one more group.
Okay.
One more group, the specialists, featuring Justin Tucker, Nick Moore at long snapper, and Jordan Stout. No competition there. Obviously, those are just going to be the guys you used a 4th round pick on that punter. Justin Tucker is the best kicker of all time. That's just what it's going to be. But yeah, very good special teams for Baltimore. The defense, I don't love the middle linebackers, but everywhere else they look really good. The offense, assuming they get elevated play out of the wide receivers and the linemen that they brought in, are what they expect them to be. We should see a big jump in the offensive play as well. Yeah. And they need it because the AFC is going to be really, really tough this year.
Yeah. Danny says, I'm over here wondering who the heck is Diego, and I just realized it's the one with the weird last name. I completely forgot about him.
There's nothing weird about his last name. Y'all are the weird ones.
I'm about to say, wherever wherever that name generates from, it might be a common name. We're just we're just immature Americans over here, right?
What you mean we?
Shout out to Attitude Pop. He says, is it Super Bowl or bust for the Ravens? No, I don't think so. And if we don't make it far, I think Bisciotti will fire Harbaugh, Roman, and DeCosta. I don't think it's Super Bowl or bust. It should be. My opinion, this is the last year, right? This is the last year that head coach and QB combination can work together and not win a Super Bowl. Historically, it hasn't happened. If they haven't done it in like their 4th year, it's never happened before.
Well, in the 5 years.
Oh, 5 years. Okay, in 5 years. If they haven't gotten done in the first 5 years, it's never happened. So to me, it's Super Bowl or bust with this coaching staff.
Yeah.
But I think if they make a good quality run, if they get to like the AFC Championship and they fall a little bit short, that will save everybody's jobs. Right? That's my feeling.
Yeah, look, it's one of those things where you just have to see how they play, right? Because it is an extremely deep conference. It's very, very tough. I mean, you look at a team like the Miami Dolphins, who had a better record than Baltimore last year, and they added Tyreek Hill, and they added Teron Armstead. They got much better. The Broncos got much better. They went and they got Russell Wilson, to add to that team. The Chargers added Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson to their defense. Yeah. So everybody is really piling on. I mean, there's a lot of teams that you could make an argument for as Super Bowl contenders. So it's not just, as much as we'd like to say, oh, you better at least get to the conference championship or you better get to the Super Bowl. It's not that simple. I think it has to be a situation where they just look like an improved team. When they get to the playoffs, the offense has to function. It can't just disappear like it has the last several times they've gotten to the playoffs. Yeah. If they get to the playoffs and they play a good game against, Kansas City or the Chargers or Broncos, whoever. I didn't even mention the Raiders went and got Devontae Adams. if they run into one of those teams, the Bills, and they play a good close game and they just happen to lose, then yeah, I mean, it's not going to be everybody's fired, I don't think. And to an extent, I don't think it should be. That shouldn't be what gets you fired, losing to a really good team in a close game in the playoffs. I just think that they should have already been fired. So
yeah,
I'll take any excuse at this point. But the AFC is too good to say Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah, no, I agree. And look, you can't just look at history and say, oh, well, because it's been this way, that's how it's always going to be, right? Like maybe six years of charm, But like I'm with B. My thing is this group should have already been fired, and Bashadi feels that way too, right? Like Bashadi was already thinking about firing him. Go with your gut, okay? Go with your gut. JP says, do you guys watch Bashadi's interview with Marlon? If so, what do you think? I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it because I can't stand Marlon Humphrey. He has never had a good opinion once. And it's crazy because it's all just like, it's all just ridiculous stuff.
It's meaningless stuff. Yeah,
but it's just, how are you wrong about everything?
He's still young. Yeah. See, Should wants you to read the name. He already said the name earlier.
I said the name before, Should.
Yeah.
Diego Fago.
Yeah. So, yeah. He thought you were gonna slip up. Look, he trying to get you to slip up. We're professionals over here, Shug.
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes we get a little professional. Davon says, really good interview. Jake, great business advice. Yeah. I heard it was a good interview, and I thought about checking it out. Look, here's my thing. Obviously, Bashai's a billionaire, and I'm not saying he can't give you any great advice, but billionaires became billionaires not because of their savvy business acumen, right? It was because they came from money. Yeah. Right. And I understand, Bashadi, his story is he came from humble beginnings. I guarantee you, Bashadi, he may not have come up rich, or his family not had a whole lot of money. His family or relatives put him in a position to succeed.
Yes. Fair to say he purposely spoils movies on Twitter. He's a horrible person. And you know what? I think it's actually pronounced Diego Prochet is what it sounds like right now. Diego going to take PQ's spot? All right.
No, that's not going to happen. Man. It's not going to happen.
Justin says his concern is the wide receiver position. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Listen, I think that if they go out and they get a Will Fuller or a Julio Jones, you can cross your fingers that they stay healthy and kind of be okay with that, because both those guys can still play when they're healthy. It's just that health hasn't really been on their side for most of their career, or recently for Julio, but his entire career for Will Fuller.
Honestly, that would be a major bailout for the Ravens if they got one of those guys and they're just healthy, because we think Rashad Bateman is gonna play really well. Yeah. You already got Mark Andrews. If they just got another good player on that other side, man, they would, people would say, oh yeah, EDC knows what he's doing. Oh, this is that. He just got lucky.
Yeah, and listen, Deebo Samuel has not withdrawn his trade request, so you can still go do that.
Oh yeah, there you go. JP says, thank you again for the jersey. Just received today. Oh, that's what's up. Shout out to JP. He won our giveaway. Danny won the other giveaway too. Let us know what you get from the store, and let us know if you like it. All right. All right. Couple more. Let's get out of here. Man, we are bad with time. We just talked about being professional. This is supposed to be an hour show. Will Fuller only healthy when he on the juice. Listen, as long as he doesn't test positive, I don't care. I just need you available. Are you going to play? Should say still waiting on his jersey. All right, man. Let's keep waiting. You want a Lamar jersey? I will get you a Lamar jersey.
You should be better at Ravens trivia.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay. All right. We are going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there. Let's get look at this overtime show started.
Wait, hold up. We got a donation that I didn't see until just now.
Oh,
my bad.
Oh, okay. We got a donation. Hey, and thank you guys for the donation. And once again, $ LBHT Show. That's the Cash App, and also the stream elements that you see. That's that comment that you see pinned in the chat box. That's how you do super chats over here. All right. Yes, B puts it on there. I'm gonna read one more comment from Jake P. Jake P says, "Y'all got Washington doing an interview with Snyder like the Ravens did with Bashotti." And shout out to OTR Mike says, "Let's go, Diego." Last name here in parentheses. Diego Fago. Okay, that's how you say it. Diego Fago. And to Jake P's comment, you got Washington doing an interview with Snyder, like the Ravens did with Bashar. Oh, yeah. Look, Snyder is declining all invitations until he gets that subpoena. Okay.
Yeah, well, he said he's unavailable on that date because Washington really does want to interview him, but he does not want to go to that one.
Yeah.
So
they're going to compel him to go and speak to Congress. That'll be interesting. We'll do a whole show on that one. Okay. All right. Hendo said this will never be an hour show. Honestly, it's supposed
challenge accepted, Hendo. Next Wednesday.
Really, it's supposed to be about an hour and 15 minutes. We'd like to give 15 minutes for bonus time.
Don't give in already. Like it's just seconds ago.
All right, we get out of here now. It's an hour and 30 minutes. We are getting out of here now. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Look, it's a slow time of the year. But we still find things to talk about over here. We are a sports channel. Yes, we talk a lot of Ravens, obviously, you know that, but we like to talk other sports. You know that as well if you've been hanging out with us. All right. So if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. Okay. I promise you will enjoy the content. Okay. Yes. And also hit that like button on your way out. But we are getting out of here. We're getting ready to start overtime. If you want to be a part of overtime, patreon.com/LBHT Show. If you got $3, just $3, that's all it takes. You can come hang out with us over there. All right. But if not, thank you for hanging out with us up to the end of the show. B, are you ready?
I'm ready.
B is ready to get up out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July. Be safe. Be safe out there. Okay. All right. And we will see you next. Shug. Be safe.
Drink water.
Drink responsibly. No,
drink water.
Yes. Drink water responsibly. Okay, how about that? All right. All right. We'll see y'all next time. Peace out.